Welcome to Introduction to RCOs, part of the Philadelphia City Planning Commission's Learning Series. Module 1. In this video, you will learn about the following: what an RCO does, what development is, meetings with developers, how to find existing RCOs, and RCO responsibilities. There are lots of different kinds of organizations in any neighborhood. An RCO has a special interest in the physical development of the neighborhood, like new buildings being built or existing buildings being renovated. An RCO registers with the city so they can receive notice about development projects happening within their boundaries and helps neighbors have a voice in that development. You could say the first job of an RCO is to learn about how development works, so they can help community members understand it for themselves. Development can be complicated. The language of development uses words and phrases that you may not be familiar with. We'll cover just the basics here, but other terms will be covered in other videos you can study. Development can include many types of projects that are created by for-profit companies, nonprofit organizations, as well as individual property owners. Let's look at 3 different types of development. Pamela has bought an empty lot and wants to build a new house. Nadia, Pamela's neighbor, wants to renovate her house, and Maurice, Nadia's brother, owns a corner building where he wants to open a new business. Here's Pamela. Pamela buys an empty lot and wants to develop it. If she decides to build a house on that lot, that's development. Pamela's friend Nadia owns the house next door. The house is getting too small for her family, so Nadia decides to add an extra floor on top. That's development. Nadia's brother Maurice buys a property down the street on the corner. He wants to open a cafe on the ground floor, which is now an apartment. He wants to install a kitchen and set up tables and chairs for outdoor dining. That's development. In Philadelphia and in most places, if you want to build a new building, alter an existing building, or change its use, you need to get a permit from the city to do it to make sure it meets the requirements of the code. One type of permit ensures that the changes result in safe buildings. The rules for constructing buildings are in the building code. Permits also ensure that the changes are allowed by zoning. The zoning code is a collection of rules that control the size and shape of buildings, where they are located on a lot, and how they can be used. Learn about zoning in other videos. You live in the neighborhood where Pamela, Nadia, and Maurice are altering their properties. They are developers. You'd want to know what was going on, right? They all need to notify your neighbors by placing their permit sign on their properties where everyone can see it. Every project that needs a permit has to do this. Developers of some projects are required to do more than just provide a sign to notify neighbors. They're required to go to a meeting with the community where neighbors can learn about and discuss a proposed development. This is where RCOs can help. Pamela, Nadia, and Maurice were not able to get permits because their development plan did not meet the code or the minimum requirements of the law for that kind of project. Because they will need special permission for what they want to do, the law requires that they first meet with the registered community organization, in these cases, Pickletown United. Pamela couldn't build her house on the empty lot because she wanted to cover her whole lot with a house and not provide space for a backyard, which is required by the zoning code. Pickletown United can ask her why she didn't include it. Nadia wants to have 15-foot-high ceilings on the new 3rd floor addition to her house, so it will be taller than what's allowed by the zoning code. Pickletown United can ask her why this is important. Maurice bought a property that allows for apartments, but he wants to change that use for a cafe. Pickletown United can ask him questions about the cafe. How many people will be seated? Will it be sit-in or take-out? How will it impact the street, the block? As an RCO, Pickletown United has a few jobs to do when it comes to the community meeting. Once notified of the developer's request, the RCO schedules the meeting and invites members. It also must be open to the public. The RCO hosts the meeting and makes sure everyone gets a chance to participate. The RCO also writes its opinion of the project, what happened at the meeting, results of a vote, if there was one, and sends it to the city as a letter or as testimony. Acting as an RCO is a big responsibility. It takes a lot of organization and commitment to meet the requirements of this step in the development process. People will have different opinions and may feel strongly about different kinds of development. The RCO must navigate those opinions and represent the community. First, find out if there are existing RCOs in your area. It's better to join an existing RCO that is already set up than to try to organize a new one. Go to openmaps.phila.gov, scroll down on the left side menu and find Registered Community Organizations. Click on the box to turn on the layer. Click on the map within your area to find out about all the RCOs near you. Or email rco@phila.gov and ask. If you find one or more existing RCOs in your area, you could go to their meetings and ask how you can help. There's no need to form another organization. Every RCO and every community member has an equal voice in telling the city what they think about a development. You find out there's not any RCO in your area and you have the people with the talent and commitment to lead this process? The first step is to complete the application to make sure your group meets the requirements. You can find the application on the phila.gov website. Do a search for the RCO page. The application asks your organization to submit written rules of how it operates, which includes election of officers and regularly scheduled meetings. The application also asks for your organization's geographic boundaries. The boundary streets define the area of potential new projects that your RCO is interested in reviewing. As an RCO, you must be willing to schedule, host, and report out about community meetings to the city and to your membership. You must have people in your organization who are willing to take on these responsibilities to make sure the process is fair and represents your community. In this video, you learned about the following: what an RCO does, what development is, meetings with developers, how to find existing RCOs, and RCO responsibilities. Thank you for watching this presentation on RCOs in Philadelphia. In the next video, RCO Part 2, Processes, you will learn about the process of notification and how RCOs get involved. If you're not interested in being part of an RCO, but do want to get more involved with development in your community, other videos from city planning will explain how.